City in a Batmobile. Even though it get crazy, niggas don't talk like Swayze.
Get into it. Now it seems like we have some updates when it comes to KayFlock's trial that's taking place in March. And it looks like the government is trying to pull some sneaky moves, but thanks to the judge, they was caught red-handed. Yes, and it seems like KayFlock just might have a fighting chance when it comes to the death of Mr. Hernandez. Now apparently the judge denied the government's request to hide evidence showing that Mr. Hernandez had a gun on him during the shooting. And it reads, the preliminary statement. Criminal trials are supposed to be a search for the truth. The government in point 1 seeks to turn this given on its head by arguing that defendant Kevin Perez's self-defense claim to the shooting of Oscar Hernandez should be factually eviscerated. It is Mr. Perez's contention that he acted in self-defense as Hernandez was reaching for Hernandez's gun to shoot and kill Mr. Perez, and that his action prompted Mr. Perez to shoot Mr. Hernandez in self-defense. Nothing could be more relevant than the fact that Hernandez did in fact possess a gun which he was reaching for to shoot Perez. The fact that Hernandez had a gun corroborates Mr. Perez's belief that the actions of Hernandez reaching/drawing were in fact for a gun to be used to kill Mr. Perez. It is quite simply the res gesti of the case. To be sure, if it turned out that Hernandez was reaching for his cell phone, the government would be vehemently arguing for the cell phone's admissibility. Or if Mr. Perez was a New York City police officer, the fact that the victim was armed with a gun would be the most salient fact. Now the absent additional evidence read, on December 16, 2021, Perez shot and killed Oscar Hernandez as charged in count 2 of the indictment. While paramedics were attempting to perform life-saving measures on Hernandez after the shooting, they recovered a gun from his person. Wow. Wow, so there you have it, guys. There you have it right there. In the black and whites, they're saying they retrieved a gun on Hernandez while performing life-saving measures on him. That's crazy. As far as the government can tell, however, Perez was not aware that Hernandez was in possession of a gun at the time Perez shot him. Surveillance video shows that prior to the shooting, Hernandez walked out the barbershop and followed Perez down Amsterdam Avenue. As Hernandez did so, he zipped up his coat and appeared to exchange words with Perez. At no point did Hernandez display a gun or even appear to reach for a gun. When Perez reached the corner of West 151st Street and Amsterdam Avenue, he turned around and pointed his gun at Hernandez and shot and killed him. At the time Perez shot Hernandez, Hernandez was simply walking towards him with his left hand in his pocket and his right hand, which appeared to be his dominant hand based on his use of both hands as captured in the surveillance video on his zipper. Now this is where it gets tricky, guys. If you ask me, this is where it gets tricky, because they're saying on one end, the surveillance shows that all he did was have one hand in his pocket and the other hand in the zipper. But this could come off as reaching for something or going for something. If you ask me, what do you guys think? Look on your screen. Could this come off as somebody going for a weapon or not? But I find it very telling at the end of the day that they tried to hide this evidence showing that Oscar Hernandez had a gun in the first place. Seems very spooky to me, if you ask me. Very spooky. Spooky, spooky, spooky. Because why would they want to hide that? KayFlock at the end of the day is facing 2 more attempt M's, if you're not aware. Let me just refresh your memory real quick. If you're not aware, he's facing 2 more attempt M's after this. However, those are attempt M's. Nobody lost their life. Right here, what he's facing is a whole body, like a whole M at the end of the day. And if he's able to get past this, then we just might see KayFlock back on the streets sooner than we thought. But if you guys remember, this is how he got caught up in the whole indictment situation. Because they're out here trying to talk like he's, the head of DOA Southside, you know what I'm saying? But listen. Perez personally participated in numerous acts of violence against rival gang members. For example, on June 20th, 2020, Perez and a number of allied Third Side members, including Rosen and Gant, traveled to the territory of a rival gang, the 800 YGs, to shoot at rival gang members. During the shooting, Perez and his co-conspirators hit 4 victims. One of the victims was an 800 YG's gang member known as Eli. In text messages sent the same day, Perez stated that he and others had hit Eli in his chin. After the shooting, Perez released a rap song in which he boasted about the shooting. The song included the lyrics, 33 on me. If he G's, he get put in a coffin. Hole in his face, that boy look like a dolphin. As others in the background yelled, Eli. 6 days later, Perez ordered another shooting of a rival gang members. On June 26, 2020, a group of individuals was standing in front of 4646 Park Avenue in the Bronx, which served as a sort of headquarters for Southside/DOA. 2 individuals ran past and opened fire, striking one of the individuals, a Southside DOA member, in the abdomen. Perez ordered his subordinates to take revenge for the shooting. About 4 hours after the first shooting, 2 Southside DOA members drove a Revel electric scooter into the territory of the Drillies, a rival gang that was an ally of the 800 YGs. At least one of the 2 members opened fire at a group of individuals standing on the sidewalk in Drilly territory. An 18-year-old innocent bystander was struck in the cheek with a bullet lodged, and victim 2 was rushed to the hospital and fortunately survived. Later that summer, on August 10, 2020, Perez and other allied gang members again shot at members of the 800 YGs, then again hit victim 1, this time in the foot. On November 10th, 2021, Perez ordered, and you see how they keep saying ordered, Perez ordered, KayFlock ordered the shootings? They're trying to paint him as the mob boss, all right? Like he's the head honcho. He's the one that everyone's going to. He's the leader of this terrible gang that's, you know what I'm saying, bringing havoc to the streets. That's what they're trying to paint right now. But it reads, Perez ordered other Southside DOA members to travel with him to RPT territory to spin RPT. Perez and others then traveled to RPT territory in a BMW. When they arrived at the rival gang's building, Beamon stood up through the sunroof of the vehicle and began shooting at the group of men standing on the sidewalk outside of the building. Fortunately, missing their targets, Perez and others drove back to Southside/DOA headquarters at 4646 Park Avenue. So you guys gotta understand, right? Let's say if KayFlock gets off with self-defense when it comes to the Oscar Hernandez situation, right? And he only gets hit with the gun charge, basically, right? He's still fighting these other cases. Now, granted, at the end of the day, you'll rather be fighting those cases than having an M charge on you. However, this doesn't mean that he's necessarily out the woods just yet. You know? He's not out the woods just yet. However, them having the evidence and the government trying to hide the evidence speaks volume. You know what I'm saying? It speaks volume to the situation. Because if everything goes right, KayFlock could possibly just get off with self-defense and just take the gun charge. And he'll be out sooner than we know. He'll be out sooner than later. But he's also fighting this indictment. So keep your fingers crossed. Keep KayFlock's in your prayers and everything like that if you're a fan. And I'm going to keep you guys updated on the next KayFlock news. But I'm off this.
Niggas acting crazy, but don't ever step foot in their 80s. No name with me, my order from Haiti. The way we I slept with them niggas was wavy. They ain't see the face like Swayze. Shit getting serious, tell them we ain't playing.